Hey, it's Gina. I woke up this morning and thought I needed to do a little trim on my hair. Now, I've been cutting my own hair for many years. I did get it cut about 6 months ago. Professionally, I was actually trying to let it grow out. But since then, I realized I don't really like my hair when it gets much longer than this. I kind of try to let it grow, then I cut it, and I've had it super short, like short in the past. But I cut it myself, and I generally cut it in stages, so I don't do like an all over, today is the day I'm going to cut my hair and do everything, which is why it's a little bit hard to show you because I did just cut my bangs. They're a little bit too short. I cut the bottom up maybe a couple inches in stages. Next time I do that, I will show you what that looks like. Basically, I just cut it across the bottom. I hold a mirror up and just trim around the bottom, and then I kind of try to clean it up. It's hard though in the back, and this is what I want to cut. This is what I want to show you today. I like the front, so I trimmed my bangs. I like to have a little layer kind of right here, so I cut this just by kind of holding it up and trimming some pieces. But I end up with this, I call it the broomstick, you know, in the back where it goes like this instead of kind of going like this. And honestly, cutting my own hair, that is an area that I really can never get perfect just because I can't really reach it. But I do think I can kind of thin it out a little bit. So I'm going to thin out a little bit just in the back right here. We'll see how that goes. What I'm going to do is hop in the shower, give it a wash, give it a dry, because I like to, this bit of trimming I will do when it's dry, because I'll show you. I like to use, so I've got, hello, sorry. I did buy myself a few years ago a good pair of shears. This makes a huge difference. These ones are, I can't see what they say on them. But they're really nice. I got them at the beauty supply, little cutting shears. And then these actually need to replace these. I don't know if you can see that, but they're the little thinning shears. And this is funny, you guys are gonna laugh at me. My husband works at the Humane Society, and these somebody had left in the donate box. I don't know if they were like animal scissors, but he brought them home. I washed them off and I use these now. And so for these, I like to do it dry because I can just get some small pieces and just thin out the bottoms. So that's what I'm gonna do. So when I come back, my hair will be washed and blow dried in kind of the direction I want it to go. And then I will show you how I do this. Okay, we're all washed. I'm gonna do a little blow dry and gonna just get everything going in the right direction, and then I will be back. Okay, so here we are with a rather rough blow dry. I did use my use just a regular blow dryer to dry it, and then I use a little round blow dryer to get everything going the right direction. And it's not bad. Look at the back here. I think I haven't cut anything yet, so I'm just looking at the back. I like this piece right here, but it kind of just ends up doing what it wants to. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pin a couple pieces up, because what will happen if I don't do this is I will end up cutting this stuff. And I don't really want to cut any of this. I just want to get some of this fullness in the back. So let's actually put my glasses on. I can't really see here. Okay. So I think I'm going to start, I can always let some out and do a little bit more, but you can't go back. So I think I'm just gonna do starting from here. Let's do that. So I'm just gonna give this a little bit of a pin. And the same thing over here. I'll go about to here. Pin that up. Okay. It's not quite even, but that's fine. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I have a few techniques for trimming my hair depending on where I want the thinness to be. I'm actually going to take a smidge more from here. The first one, what I'm going to do today is the thinning shears that I showed you. We're just going to go around the back. The other thing that you can do, and I don't do this as much when my hair's longer, but when my hair is short, I call it the slice. And I want to thin it kind of all over. I grab a piece from here like this when it's wet, just like one, little teeny chunk, and I grab it and I just go, and I cut it down like that. And I can go around my entire head this way with my little mirror, and it actually does a pretty decent job. So that's one thing that I do. But today, because I just want to thin it around the bottom, I'm going to use my thinning shears because I don't want to thin all the rest of it. All right, well, here we go. My poor husband. And actually, I think I'm also going to take up this. Let's see. Now I'm going to leave that. I'm going to trim some of that. I make a big mess when I do this, so I drive my spouse crazy, but he's used to it by now, and he likes that I'm cheap and save money on my hair. Really the reason why I cut my hair is not because I'm cheap, although it is nice to save money because it's so darn expensive now, but mostly just because I know exactly, so I'm just taking this piece and I'm just gonna cut off the corner here a little bit, and I'm just gonna go around. Mostly, I like to cut my own hair because I don't know about you, but I rarely, when I was going to a salon back in my 20s, getting my hair cut professionally, frequently, there was very few times when I came home from getting my hair cut when I didn't come in and say, oh, that piece is a little crooked, that piece should be a little shorter. I almost always just came home and trimmed my own little pieces anyway. And so this way I'm just cutting out the middleman. I think I told you on my last video that I definitely cut my own hair when I was a teenager in the 80s, which is why we all ended up with a mullet. Maybe I said that on my book channel, actually. But what we used to do when I was a kid is we would just pull all of our hair up on top of our head and cut it all off, which is why we all had this like super short piece right here in the 80s. But I've been doing that. I mean, not that, but I've been cutting my hair to some extent really ever since. And I just don't really have any fear about it. It's just hair. And I don't know. I guess I'm lucky in that I don't feel, and I'm sorry, I keep saying just, that's pretty annoying. I don't feel much of an emotional attachment to my hair, which makes it a little bit easier. I know that's not always the case, but for me, do a little bit more here. Yeah, I just don't have an emotional attachment to my hair. So I don't feel like there's really anything that I can do that would break my heart. I should have taken a thinner piece here. If you look, I will link my other channel down below. I've been doing that BookTube channel for a few years now, and so you can see the evolution of my hair. When I started my channel, my hair was short, and I had cut that 100% myself. I had not gotten my hair cut professionally in probably 6 years before 2021. Actually, that's a lie. I had gotten it cut professionally right before the pandemic because I was also thinking I would let it grow. This is what I tend to do. That's funny, actually. I just remembered this. When I want my hair to grow, I always find it a little bit harder to kind of get a good start when it's short and I want to go longer. So I have in the past gotten my hair cut a couple times when I'm gonna let it grow out. But then when I decide I'm not gonna let it grow out, like I just did, I'm gonna do a little bit more right here. I cut it short myself. So that first video, and it's not always great. I'm not saying my hair always looks perfect. It does not. But you can see in that video my hair when it was short, and that was all me. So for the last 3 years on that channel, it was 100% me cutting my own hair. So you can see if you want to go over there and just check it out. Most of you probably are here, have come over here from that channel. Thank you very much. If you have, I love you. All right, so that's decent. So let's go over here. This side is a little bit funny because I've got a little bit thicker hair over here, and I also have a cowlick right here in the back of my head. So it's a little bit weird. So I'm not going to do quite as much over here because this side seemed to be laying a little bit better already anyway. So I'm just going to do that. Yeah, so I'm going to keep just going around like I did over on the other side and do some thinning. Actually, I think it's time to replace these little shears. They were not professional when I got them, and they seem to be losing a little bit of their oomph. Let's see. Sometimes it's hard to see if it's even when you're doing some layers. I might do a smidge more here. But what the hardest part when I'm doing the thinning with these is this very, very back piece. And it's hard to get a good angle on that. I can easily do that when I'm just cutting with my regular scissors because I hold the mirror up and I just cut. But when I need to comb and cut, it's a little bit harder. But I think I may have gotten it. The other thing that I do sometimes when I'm cutting, when I'm doing a more of a full cut the bottom, but then I will also use my regular scissors, and sometimes just cut off some of these corners. So I just take these scissors and kind of trim that piece. So I do that. A little bit of, that's not layering, but you know what I mean. All right, so let's take everything down and see what we look like. I just realized I think I need to get some better clips than these. These left my hair was still maybe a little bit damp and warm, and it left a big old ridge here. So I might just flat iron that piece out. Let's see. Oopsie. This is another reason why it's a little bit hard to show you a full haircut start to finish, because I just do it in these stages. So I will do a little bit today, and then when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be like, oh, there's a piece that needs to be cut, and I will do a little bit more. I might need to do a little bit more in here, but I'm gonna let this sit for a little while and come back to it and see how it is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick flat iron just to smooth everything out. I don't always flat iron my hair, but I do like the look. And also, what I find when I cut my own hair is that the flat iron actually really helps to hide a multitude of sins, because I can really bend the pieces under that look a little funky so they don't stick up. So that is one nice thing about the flat iron. Oh, we're just gonna flat iron this little bit. Check the ends, and it helps to make sure that they look smooth. Something looks a little shorter over here, I think, but I'm gonna sit with that for a little bit and see how I feel about it. I sat with it for a second and I decided I'm gonna do a smidge towards the front on this side, just to even it up a little bit. It's hard to make it round in exactly the same spots on both sides of my head, but I console myself with the fact that when I get it professionally cut, I seem to have the same problem. My head is just not a perfect circle, and I don't think anybody's really is, but I like that. So that is what I'm trying to get over here. But like I said, I have more hair on this side of my head, and I also have a little cowlick back here. So I had to be really careful, because what I will end up doing sometimes is, did your mom ever used to cut your bangs when you were a little kid, and they always ended up here because she cut them and then this side would be a little shorter, so she'd cut it, and finally it was still not even, but you ended up with these really super short bangs. So that is what I have to be very careful I do not do, because I'll be like, oh wait, this side looks a little shorter, so I'll do something over here, and then this side will be a little shorter. So it is kind of a never-ending battle to some extent, but I actually think that looks okay. Okay, so here's the final so far. I put a little lipstick on, I got dressed. I did run the flat iron over it to just smooth everything out. I'm gonna sit with it. Now I'm definitely gonna sit with it. I'm not cutting anymore. I know I've psyched you out a couple times and said that and then cut a little bit more. But I think this is good for now. I'll let you know if I do anything else in the future, and let me know. I hope you try cutting your own hair. It's easy. It's very low risk. You know what? If you're not used to cutting your hair and you try it and you hate it, you can always, and you have a hairdresser that you like, they can always change it for you. So, all right, bye.